For this problem, we are given an array of integers, and we need to sort by number of occurrences from highest to lowest. Okay, so the example we are given is an input array of 2, 5, 3, 2, 5, 8, 8, 8. The output would be 8, 8, 8, 2, 2, 5, 5, 3. The complication of this problem is that if any numbers have the same number of occurrences, whichever one came first in the input array should come first in the output array. For this problem, I'm first thinking of checking if the array length is less than or equal to 2, because if this is true, then the array is already going to be sorted by frequency. If it is greater than 2, I'm going to create a dictionary for the count of frequency of each number. I'm going to create a dictionary for the index where each number first appears. Then I'm going to loop through the input array and add to the two dictionaries. I'm going to create a 2D array populated by iterating over the dictionaries. So I'm going to create an array where each index contains the original number, the frequency, and the first index of where it appears. Then I'm going to sort the 2D array with the creation of a temporary array where I will sort by the frequency, and if the frequency is the same, I will use the first index as a tiebreaker. Next, I will create an output array and loop through the 2D array using the number to populate and the frequency as the number of times to populate it. So if the number is 8 and the frequency is 3, we're going to add 3 8s. Then we'll return an out array, and the time is 3n plus 2n squared, and if you see along the side here, I put the time because so we're going to loop through the array, which is time n. We're going to create the 2D array, which is going to be an n for each loop, or the loop for each dictionary. And then sorting will be of time n squared, and creating the out array using the 2D array will be n squared. And then space is here. I'm creating a new dictionary will be space n, another dictionary will be space n, 2D array will be of space n, and the out array will be of space n. So that is where I get space of 4n. I'm going to start by creating my method, and I'm going to check if the array length is less than or equal to 2. If it is, I'm going to return that array. Now I have created my two new dictionaries, one for the frequency and one for the first index. Okay, now I've written the for loop, which is going to populate these dictionaries. So if frequency already has the number, then we're just going to increase the value by 1. And if it does not already contain that key, then we're going to add it to the frequency dictionary. So we're going to add the number as the key and 1 as the value. And we're going to add to the first index dictionary as well with the number and the index. Now I have created my 2D array where the number of rows will be the count of the frequency dictionary, and within each, the number of columns will be 3, which will be our number, frequency, and first index. Now I have written the two loops that will populate my 2D array. So I have the for each loop that grabs the number and the frequency, and then this for each loop goes through the first index to populate the first index column. This is just sorting the 2D array. So I created a temporary array with 3 places because for each index we have an array with 3 values. Then we're looping through and just comparing we're comparing based on the frequency. So we're checking if the first frequency is less than the second frequency, then we're going to be swapping because we want higher numbers at the beginning. And how we're doing that is we're just setting each index of the temporary value equal to the same index. So temporary 0 will then be equal to number, temporary 1 would be equal to the frequency, and temporary of index 2 would be equal to the first index of the first number. Then we're setting the i's equal to the j's, and then the j's equal to those temporary values. Now another thing that we need to check is if they're equal, the frequencies are the same. Then we're going to check if the second index is greater, which would mean it came later, then we're going to have to do the same swap. So we're doing the temporary is set to the I values are then set to the j values, and the j values are then set to the temporary values. Now I have created my out array, which is going to be the same length as my input array because there will be the same amount of numbers as came in. I also created a variable length just to make it easier in my upcoming loops because farray.getLength of 0, which is the length of the number of rows that I have in my 2D array, is just really long to write. Okay, and now we are going to be converting our 2D array into our output array. So we're going to loop for the length of our 2D array the number of indices. So we're going to go through each number that occurs, and our temporary integer is going to be the frequency, so the number of times that number occurs. So for that number of time that it occurs, we're going to set the value equal to the number at that index. So we're going to, let's say it's 8 and the frequency is 3, we're going to loop 3 times and add 8 at, say, index 0, 1, and then 2. And then loop through to the next number. And then finally we will return our out array.